Senior Bowl time is almost here. I am so excited to be down in Mobile. But before I talk about what I'm looking forward to and the players I'm looking forward to talking about in Mobile, let's first give a shout out to our sponsor for today, DraftKings. All right, football fans, things are getting real. Whether your team made it to the conference championship or not, there's still plenty of ways to enjoy the game. Get in on the action right now with my partners at DraftKings Sportsbook. They're offering all new customers $200 in bonus bets instantly after betting just $5. Don't let this slip away. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and sign up using promo code WORSTTAKE. The crown is yours. Stay in on the action and use your $200 in bonus bets on DraftKings same-game parlays for a shot at an even bigger payout. Combine multiple bets together from the same game. Love the thrill of live betting? DraftKings has got you covered. Bet on live in-progress games as they happen, making watching the game that much more exciting. If sports betting is not yet available in your state, don't worry. You can still join in on all the fun with DraftKings Daily Fantasy and have a shot to win cash prizes. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use my promo code WORSTTAKE and bet $5 on any wager and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code WORSTTAKE only at DraftKings Sportsbook. I am so excited this year to be down there in Mobile, Alabama. I don't know if it's just because the Browns have an early pick, but it feels like there is a lot of talent that's going to be down there on both sides of the football, especially on the lines of scrimmage. Quarterback, there's going to be some interesting guys there. Wide receivers, tight ends, running backs. It's going to be an interesting week to be down there. Make sure you're locked in. Subscribe to this channel because I will be in Mobile, Alabama during the Senior Bowl to cover it all, to go to these practices and watch everything as close as I possibly can. Now, with all of that being said, who are the players that I am looking forward to watching? Keep in mind, this list is subject to change. Players can play themselves on this list, off this list. And what I feel right now does not dictate how I will feel at the end of Senior Bowl week. This is just me trying to give a preview of the week for Browns fans. So the first thing, if you're a Browns fan, you want to look at is quarterbacks, right? And there's going to be a lot of quarterbacks that you know at this Senior Bowl. First, we're going to start with Jalen Milroe. Now, Jalen Milroe is going to be here for multiple reasons. One, people want to see how he can play in a more traditional pro-style offense. Is that something that can help him develop his pocket presence? Two, how accurate can he be with the time that he's had to work on some of his stuff that he needs to work on in the postseason? And three, scouts and GMs are going to want to ask some questions about how open he is to being flexible about his role on an NFL team. There's no doubt that Jalen Milroe will technically be a quarterback on whatever roster he sits on while he's in the NFL. I know a lot of people think he should switch to running back. He doesn't run the ball like a running back. He looks like he could play running back because he's a giant man. But he doesn't run like a running back. He runs like a quarterback. He runs like a skill player, right? He goes to the outside boundary. He's not really up the middle guy. And it's important to remember the best runs from Jalen Milroe aren't necessarily the design runs that he goes on, but the RPO runs. Right? He's able to pull it, read a edge, and then make that pull or keep decision based on that. That's not something he can excel at as a running back, right? So in order to use Jalen Milroe as a runner in the way that he has showed himself to be special, you do have to play him at the quarterback position, or at least give him snaps at the quarterback position to make it happen. So I don't think people are going to talk about him changing positions outright. I don't think that's in the cards for him. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. We might find out something during the week, maybe something before this video pops up that Jalen Milroe's willing to switch positions. But I expect it's more about his flexibility on roles adjacent to the quarterback position that aren't traditional quarterback, right? Maybe he could be some kind of like super athletic version of Taysom Hill at the NFL level. The issue with Jalen Milroe right now as a true quarterback is his pocket presence, right? A lot of people get on Jalen Milroe for his accuracy and how he throws the football, and it doesn't look super pretty. I've seen quarterbacks be able to get away with not being the most accurate. Not saying Jalen Milroe doesn't have to work on his accuracy, but the amount of ground that he has to make up there to be functional in the NFL offense, I don't think is insurmountable for Jalen Milroe to get to. If the accuracy of his passes were the only thing I was worried about with Jalen Milroe, I would be a fan of like Jalen Milroe being a higher tier quarterback pick in this draft than where I think he's ultimately going to end up. The problem with Jalen Milroe is his pocket presence is awful, and it was demonstrated in full flux in front of the world against Michigan in that ReliQuest Bowl or whatever they called it, because he looked awful in that game. The pressure got to him. He took a ton of bad sacks, and the problem with Jalen Milroe is this. In order for the style of quarterback that he can play to work, right? A guy who could be on time, make a couple of reads, split the field in half, asking him to throw 10, 12 yards down the field at max, not really stretching the defense, and then using some RPOs and design runs to move the ball with his legs. That is the style of quarterback that can be successful, or that Jalen Milroe can be successful doing. The issue with that style of quarterback is that you can't get behind the sticks. So penalties can't be a thing if you're going to be running Jalen Milroe out there at quarterback. And also Jalen Milroe has to be really good at avoiding taking bad sacks in order to exist out there at quarterback, because once you get him to a second and long, a third and long, he's absolutely useless right now. That's the biggest problem with Jalen Milroe. He gets behind the sticks, and that makes all of that beautiful athletic ability that he has pretty useless. If he had better pocket presence, and if he could demonstrate better pocket presence, I think teams would be much higher on him than what they are right now. But the pocket presence for him is his biggest issue, and we'll talk about that more going forward. Jackson Dart is a fun prospect. A lot of people are high on him. I'll know more about him after his week in Mobile. I don't really have a super strong opinion on him yet, but I have liked some of the stuff I've seen from Jackson Dart. I have not liked some of the stuff when it comes to he kind of leaves the pocket early at times at Ole Miss, but still an intriguing enough player to make sure you keep eyes on. Will Howard, I'm recording this video before the conclusion, the last two games of the college football playoff. So by the time this video is released, it is possible that Will Howard is the college football playoff champion. It is possible he could have got eliminated versus Texas. It's possible he could have lost to insert team name here. I don't know what the result of the college football season is going to be while recording this video. So Riley Leonard kind of falls in that category too. But Will Howard has showed, especially during that Rose Bowl game, an ability to drop some passes that make you feel like he's better than what people think he is. The problem with him is consistency. Dillon Gabriel, measurements are going to be huge for him. Hand size, it matters for Dillon Gabriel. Will he measure a 10-inch hand or a 9 3/4, or will he measure in under 9.5 inches? If he does, he's a dud on the draft board. Also, athletic ability. See, and kind of get a test of his arm strength as well in these one-on-one drills. Riley Leonard, he's another one that you just want to see be a little bit more accurate on a consistent basis. The other issue with Riley Leonard is getting the ball out on time. I don't think that's something you can really demonstrate during the Senior Bowl, but for him this week, accuracy is going to be a big question for him. Same as like Jalen Milroe. Let's talk about the running backs that I think are going to be interesting. Cam Scatterbo is going to be in the Senior Bowl. He's going to be fun to watch. Want to see him in receiver drills because he has been a really good receiver at Arizona State. Want to see him go up against NFL caliber linebackers and DBs this week to make sure that he is the real deal as a receiver. Ollie Gordon's a player that I have not been able to get a good look on, but he came into the year as one of the better running backs in the country. Did not have a year that kind of upheld that status, so we'll get to see more out of him. Devin Neal is a guy who's very exciting, quick guy. RJ Harvey, another exciting home run hitter type running back that you could get out of UCF, another guy to watch here. I think Elic Ayamaner will be one of the most interesting players to watch because some people have this guy as a first-round prospect. Some people have him as a late-round prospect, or not a late-round prospect, but like a second, third-round prospect. He is the guy who famously tore up Travis Hunter in the Pac-12 last year when he played Colorado. So he has that tape on him. He absolutely tore up Travis Hunter, who's going to be a top 5 pick in this year's draft as a defensive back. The question with Elic is consistency. I think truly a lot of his consistency issues and production issues at Stanford stem down to this. his quarterbacks were awful at Stanford. And I know some of these players don't have good quarterback play, but like awful quarterback play at Stanford. He's a big physical wide receiver. I think he's a really strong route runner. Kind of reminds me of old Amari Cooper, right? Like not the Amari Cooper that came out of Alabama that was a top 10 pick. He's not that good, but he does remind me of like bigger, stronger muscle man Amari Cooper. Like that's kind of what his game is. Avery Restrepo, I think he's going to be a fun player to watch at the Senior Bowl. There were a lot of times where I felt like he should have got the ball at Miami, but Cam Ward didn't get the ball out on time. Would love to see him go one-on-one against some of these DBs at the Senior Bowl. Jalen Royals is a player I'm excited to get a watch on. I haven't been able to watch too much Jalen Royals at the point of recording this video, so I'll be excited to see. Tez Johnson, I think, is going to be super important this Senior Bowl week for him because the worry about him is his weight. He is super small. He's like 160 pounds soaking wet. So you want to see how he can handle more physical NFL-level corners when he goes up against them. You know the speed is there. He has amazing burst, speed, athletic ability. That's all there. But the problem with Tez is his weight. So you want to see how he handles these NFL strong guys. Tight end is going to be another fun position to keep your eyes on. Harold Fanon Jr., tight end out of Bowling Green State University. Really intriguing athlete, especially after the catch. He's going to be fun to watch on like 7-on-7 drills. Not 7-on-7 drills, on 11-on-11 drills especially. And he's probably going to be fun to watch during the game. Like I think it's possible that he could win the Senior Bowl MVP this year because he might be the best athlete at the game, and he might be the best player at the Senior Bowl. Gunnar Helm, another fun player to watch here, professional tight end. He's going to be such an easy comp to the NFL. Gunnar Helm, another fun player to watch here, professional tight end. He's going to be a good NFL tight end. The question is, where does he go? The Senior Bowl will help him figure that out. Terrence Ferguson, fun prospect to watch out of Oregon. Keep your eye on him. And Elijah Arroyo, tight end out of Miami, is going to be another guy who's fun to watch. I keep seeing him pop up whenever I watch Cam Ward tape. I'm like, wow, this number 8 guy out of Miami is pretty good. So keep your eye on him. Now, when I go to the Senior Bowl, I'm not a guy who loves watching the wide receiver DB drills. I'll watch that on tape. I'm not a guy who loves watching the running backs and the quarterbacks warm up. I'm a dude who likes to get down to the end zones and watch the O-line defensive line drills. That is my favorite thing. That is why I go to Mobile every year to watch these guys play. Because you get these O-line, D-line drills, and every year you find somebody that you did not think was going to be good or you did not know of before the Senior Bowl. You leave the Senior Bowl and you're like, that guy's going to be good. And lo and behold, that guy's good. The guy last year, Roger Rosengarten, ended up being a really good player out of Washington, right? Kind of was a sleeper. People had him as a 3rd, 4th, 5th round pick. Ended up being a 2nd round pick. Ended up being a damn good 2nd round pick for the Baltimore Ravens. So this drill, this area, this is why I go to Mobile. This is why the trip is always worth it, is to watch these drills. And they're not going to disappoint. Ton of talent in these drills. Irante Essery, tackle out of Minnesota. He's going to be fun to watch. Wyatt Millam, another tackle prospect out of West Virginia. Emory Jones, another tackle prospect out of LSU. The reason these drills are going to be super important too is because these tackles, the offensive linemen, they switch positions, right? They play right side, they play left side, they play a little guard, sometimes even center. You get to see them at different spots. The reason that's important is because a lot of these tackle prospects in this year's draft project to be guards in the NFL. So one, you want to see, can they play tackle at the NFL level? Like Emory Jones is a big question mark on that. Marcus Mbao out of Purdue, big question mark on that. Armand Membu, who a lot of people feel highly about, but they think he might be a guard at the NFL level, right? You want to see, how do they doing tackle sets? How are they doing guard sets? Is that the correct read on them? Measurements are going to be important for all of these guys. In a class that has as many tackle to guard prospects, this drill is going to be huge. A couple guys coming from small schools that have high grades on them right now. Greg Zabel out of North Dakota State, going to be a big week for him. And Charles Grant, tackle guard prospect out of William and Mary, going to be a big week against Going to be a big week for him too. Now, if we're looking at guys who are going to go at them, there are two big names that you're going to be familiar with or want to be familiar with. Shamar Stewart, defensive tackle out of Texas A&M, super big, 6'6", long guy with some bend to him. The question about Shamar Stewart is he didn't have much production at Texas A&M at that 3-tech position, so you want to see if that was just him getting pressures, not finishing, or if that is because he doesn't have enough skills or he's not polished enough at that defensive tackle position to be able to get home. Vernon Broughton out of Texas, going to be another fun player to watch in these drills. And if you're looking for safeties, Xavier Watts, Notre Dame, Lathan Ransom, safety out of Ohio State, think he's a run defense guy, and Andrew Makuba. You'll know this guy. If you watch the playoffs, this guy hits people very hard. Again, I'm recording this before the conclusion of the last 2 rounds of the college football playoffs, so if something happens there, please keep that in mind. But Makuba, very fun player to watch out of Texas. I think he's going to be a Mike Hilton-like nickelback in the NFL where he can get in on run defense, hit guys really hard, attack tight ends, kind of play with that Ronnie McLeod role. Those are my guys to watch for the Senior Bowl. Now, if somebody declared late to this thing or decided to pull out late and they're on this list, give me some grace. I recorded this a little bit earlier to make sure I had time to send it in. So some of these names could be out of date by the time this video posts. Tell me who you're excited about in the Senior Bowl, who you're excited to see play in the Senior Bowl. Let me know in the comment section down below. Y'all have a great day. Have an even better night. Peace.